What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of a new series named LEGO Indiana Jones: The Original Adventure for the PS3. And we are starting us off with our first level because every code is activated. Because I've made a decision that every episode in the levels are going to be done within one video. And that will, of course, apply to the PSP, PS2, Xbox 360, and Wii series. As of course, Pirates of the Caribbean Episode 4 is up alongside SmackDown. I'm sorry for not getting it up last night, because I had it edited and all sorted, but because I was running out of time. Wait, we need a shuffle. And now, cause, anyways, let's get to, cause the new video is up on the SuperAJStylesNick channel right now. Anyways, back to where was I? As cause for the SuperAJStylesNick channel, cause there will be a new episode of Raw going up later tonight. As of course, I've already got Raw's match card ready for tonight. As of course, now of course, I'm still working on a good date choices about working on King and Queen of the Ring. But I think the decision here would be to record Raw tonight. Then of course, record SmackDown tomorrow. Then record King and Queen of the Ring on Wednesday. Which could realistically be the choice, if Dad does not use his ego power to take me out of the house for the pub. Although all of that could be sorted once you're done. And because having cheat codes on, yes, you may say, "Oh, I'm cheating." And because I would rather get things done faster and then go on to other things that are important. Like example, I gotta get to Universe Mode recording thing for Monday Night Raw tonight, probably after I'm done with this. Alright, not a good timing. Anyway, guys, we are back. So yes, Raw will be up tonight, as of course we do have a tag team #1 contenders match between the LWO and Alpha Made. Then of course Braun Breaker will be in the building to address his upcoming Intercontinental Championship defense in the triple threat match with Rey Mysterio and Bronson Reed at King and Queen of the Ring. And of course that is going to be the match after a countout the double countout finish last week on Raw between Ray and Bronson Reed. Io Sky and Roxanne Perez will also be facing off tonight in one-on-one action, because they are looking to bounce back after that Queen of the Ring losses to Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton. Of course, Akira Tozawa will be in action against Javon Evans 5 days before Akira Tozawa challenges for the Cruiserweight Championship at the King and Queen of the Ring event. And then, of course, the main event, we're going to have a tribal combat match between Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. And of course, it is the first time we're getting a tribal combat match on Monday Night Raw. And of course, the last time the tribal combat match took place was at the 2K23 Backlash event, when Roman defeated Jey Uso thanks to Jimmy's interference and Jimmy turning on Jey. But of course, Reigns and Jimmy was fighting over who will own the rights to call themselves the real tribal chief. As of course, that was the story coming out of Night of Champions when Jey costed Roman Reigns the WWE Championship, his WWE Championship match against Cody Rhodes, and Reigns want to put this all to an end once and for all in a tribal combat match. But of course, everything began at WrestleMania when Solo Sikoa costed Roman Reigns the WWE Championship. Then of course, going back into the tribal combat story, Roman did not seek for revenge on Jimmy on his old bloodline, as of course they were separated in the draft. As of course Roman Reigns would remain on SmackDown, while Jimmy and Solo Sikoa would get drafted over to Monday Night Raw, even though Jey and Jimmy made some SmackDown appearances because they were the undisputed tag team champions at the time. And I'll get more into that later. Or we'll talk more about the story of the second tribal combat match. And of course that's the first level completed, as we get Jock. We get our first true adventure. As there's a lot of studs there. I think we can get 4 billion before this is over. I'm calling it now. Has that some good shit there? Alright, so let's get into the next level. Alright, we at level 2. Anyways, back to what we were saying about the tribal combat stuff that's going down on the next episode of Monday Night Raw. Oh, we might be at a cutscene. Alright, so now let's get back. Okay, so after the 2K23 WrestleMania event, Solo would be lingering in the United States Championship scene on Raw with Samoa Joe when Joe was champion. Then Jey and Jimmy would of course do what they do in the tag team division when they were the undisputed tag team champions, while Reigns was in first a rivalry with Bobby Lashley. And then of course, by the time the Money in the Bank event rolled around, Roman would return after the main event to take out John Cena and Cody Rhodes to build to what was going to be a triple threat match. But then, due to John Cena and Seth Rollins of course, John Cena wanting payback on Roman Reigns for when he attacked Cena at Money in the Bank, and Seth Rollins because he's been wanting a match with Cody Rhodes for a while. And of course, that was going on to cutscene time. Okay, so we're back to what we were saying. Okay. So then of course, Seth and Cena of course made Roman Cody turned into a fatal 4 match. And of course, Roman came out. And of course, the Usos and Roman did not get the job done on that night when the Usos lost to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And then Roman lost the Fatal 4 match. Then on the following episode of Raw, Jey would come out in for a match for Sheamus. But he was not wearing any Uso merchandise, as he's now... because that was when Main Event Jey was born. When Main Event Jey was born. And then, of course, on the following SmackDown, Roman challenged Cody Rhodes to one more match. at the Night of Champions event when he said a last man standing match where if Roman loses, he cannot challenge Cody Rhodes as long as Cody's the champion. Alright, so now we're back. Let's get back to what we were talking about when we were talking about the whole story going into tonight's Tribal Combat match. As of course, Roman. So of course, on the following SmackDown, Roman would challenge Cody to one more match at Night of Champions in a last man standing match, but with a catch. If Roman Reigns cannot win, that means he cannot challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship as long as Cody Rhodes was still the champion. Then we get to the Night of Champions event. Roman Reigns, we all thought he was going to win, but he didn't because Jay would cost Roman the title. Then of course Cody would move on to Braun Breaker. To Braun Breaker after Breaker won the rematch against John Cena on SmackDown and a few weeks later, while Roman and Jay was on a collision course to a Tribal Combat match at Backlash. And on that show, of course, Jimmy returned for the first time since SummerSlam to cost his cousin Jay, his brother Jay out of the Tribal Combat match. And of course, Roman and Jay were battling over who will earn the rights to call themselves the real Tribal Chief. So then after Jimmy turned on Jay, Roman would end up winning the Tribal Combat match to get his name to be the real Tribal Chief. So of course, aftermath of the first Tribal Combat match, of course Roman was lingering on SmackDown with nothing to do other than competing in random matches, and of course he was wrestling on WWE main event throughout November. And of course that's where he brought his wise man Paul Heyman, who of course we haven't seen in God knows how long. As it's been a very long time since we've seen Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman together. So then we get into and then of course with Jay, he was on Monday Night Raw wrestling for the United States Championship at the Survivor Series event when Claudio destroyed Jey Uso that night. So then we get to the elimination. So then we get to post Survivor Series, because when Jey Uso, when of course John Cena, of course we were advertised to find out what's next for John Cena after him and his squad overcome the Judgment Day inside War Games. So then Roman, of course, had enough of Roman Reigns calling himself the real Tribal Chief, dating back to their issues when he was feuding with Cena, Cody, and Rollins in the summer months of 2023. And then they would set up a 6-man tag team match at the Elimination Chamber. But of course, with John Cena and Seth Rollins getting an ability to pick a tag team partner of their choices. Then of course they picked Jey Uso. And of course Roman was teaming with Solo and Jimmy. Because Reigns was able to get back in the good graces with them. After the WrestleMania debacle, when Solo turned on Roman and costed Roman the WWE Championship. So then we get to WrestleMania we get to the Royal Rumble when of course The Rock made his return to the WWE in the Royal Rumble match. And of course, following the Royal Rumble, Roman posed a challenge to the People's Champion, The Rock, for a WrestleMania match, and they were able to have it. While on Jay and Jimmy's side, they of course had a brother versus brother match, where of course Jay and Roman emerged victorious in both their matches. So then we get to the aftermath of WrestleMania, where of course Jey Uso was drafted over to SmackDown in the supplemental draft, and of course Jey Uso when he was on SmackDown, he was competing for the Intercontinental. He was fighting for the Intercontinental Championship against Wade Barrett. Where this would of course lead to a 6-way elimination match with Damian Priest, Wade Barrett, Bobby Lashley, Kurt Angle, LA Knight, and Jey Uso at SummerSlam. And Jey couldn't win the Intercontinental Champion that night. For Jimmy Uso, he was barely on SmackDown. And of course, his first appearance after being drafted to SmackDown was when he got his ass kicked by Solo Sikoa. When, of course, Solo was taking orders from The Rock. And of course, for Roman Reigns, of course, with Roman Reigns, of course, was in various feuds against, after he beat The Rock, which of course, he of course feuded with Braun Breaker, which would lead to a match at Clash at the Castle, and of course on some SmackDowns afterwards. Then, he would of course qualify for Money in the Bank, and he was unsuccessful in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So then afterwards, he posed a challenge to anyone to fight him at SummerSlam. And of course, the man who answered this challenge was CM Punk. Of course, CM Punk and Roman Reigns kickstarted what people would say the best feud of 2024. When of course CM Punk beat Roman Reigns in his return match at SummerSlam. Then they would wrestle on SmackDown afterwards. Then they would wrestle in the Falls Count Anywhere match at Night of Champions. At Night of Champions. Then of course they would wrestle one more time in the King and Queen of the Ring. They would of course wrestle in the King of the Ring tournament when CM Punk would eliminate Roman from the tournament. Afterwards, Roman realized what was going on with his bloodline, with his old bloodline getting destroyed by Solo Sikoa, by The Rock's bloodline. So of course this would set up Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for the King of the Ring event. And of course on that night, The Rock returned to the WWE for the first time since SummerSlam. For the first time since Night of Champions. And of course, forgot to mention that of course Roman costed The Rock the WWE Championship at Night of Champions. And of course, so then we go into Survivor Series, when of course The Rock posed to Roman for a War Games match. And of course Reigns accepted the challenge. And of course the two people that was on it, and of course he had someone in mind for the Survivor Series match. And of course he had John Cena and Braun Strowman on his team, while The Rock had Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Tonga Loa. Had of course Solo Sikoa was in a program with LA Knight for the Intercontinental Championship. Then of course we get to after Survivor Series, and of course Roman Reigns of course challenged the new WWE Champion for a match for a Hell in a Cell encounter at the Bad Blood event, where of course this would be labeled as the last battle, the final battle between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, where CM Punk would retain the WWE Championship against Roman Reigns that night. Coming out of Bad Blood, Roman Reigns was set on the following SmackDown to address what was he going to do next, going into 2025. But then of course Randy Orton, of course the man who we'll talk about what was going on, what was happening in the beginning of 2025 first. Of course that's level 2 completed, Into the Mountains. I believe there are 6 levels in this game. So let's go into the third level. Alright, we are back. And I forgot to mention it. the Usos, what did they do? Because they were united in October, when Reigns was feuding with Solo heading into King and Queen of the Ring, to the King of the Ring event. Because Roman Reigns challenged Solo Sikoa and his bloodline to a 6-man tag team match. However, he got Jacob Fatu. Where, of course, Roman Reigns and his bloodline won that tag team match. Won that tag team match. So then we come. Okay, so let's get back to what was going on. So let's go to the bloodline to post King and Queen of the. So then of course with the Usos, they were of course looking to get back at the tag team title scene, at the tag team titles, and because they haven't sniffed championship gold in a year. So of course Jay and Jimmy of course would go on to fight A-Town Down Under at WWE Bad Blood, where of course they would of course win the tag team titles. And then of course they would defend it against guys like the OC at the Royal Rumble, the Street Profits at Elimination Chamber, and then of course they would lose it to DIY at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania. So then of course, with Roman Reigns, he was feuding with Randy Orton. And of course Orton attacked him on that SmackDown. Reigns was addressing what was next for Roman. When coming out of the Hell in a Cell match with CM Punk at Bad Blood. And then of course I believe it was Orton who attacked Roman, setting up the stages for their Royal Rumble encounter, when Randy Orton got the win that night. And because things didn't go well for Roman later that night, as he would lose, he would be eliminated in the Royal Rumble match. So then we get to the road to WrestleMania for Roman Reigns, as of course, Roman Reigns is of course you could say upset that he was left off the WWE Championship #1 Contenders Elimination Chamber build. I mean the #1 Contenders match for the Elimination Chamber. So then of course he would return on the SmackDown after Elimination Chamber, where of course he fought Damian Priest, when Roman would defeat Damian Priest only to get attacked by the Judgment Day, setting up a 6-man tag team match on the final SmackDown of 2K24, and then of course Roman Finn Balor at WrestleMania, when Roman would beat Finn Balor that night. Coming up, and then of course we come to right now, where of course the Bloodline was drafted over to Monday Night Raw. As Jay was drafted in the supplemental draft, and Roman was drafted in the main draft. And then of course the destination afterwards was Reigns was working his way towards the World Heavyweight Championship, while Jay of course was feuding with Drew McIntyre for a little bit. That would culminate in an Extreme Rules match at the Australia show, following the WWE draft. Then of course, Jay would win the Battle Royal to earn a World Heavyweight Championship match at Clash at the Castle, where he was unsuccessful that night. Against Sami Zayn. Then with Roman Reigns, he also posed a challenge at the Clash at the Castle event. They will be challenging the winner of the World Heavyweight Championship match for a match at Clash at the King and Queen of the Ring event. And then of course on Raw, when Reigns and Sami had a face-to-face, Reigns would compete in the tag team match later that night, as he would go up against Jimmy Uso, who of course making his first appearance since WrestleMania. And of course that match would go into a count-out finish. So then, of course, we come to tonight, where, of course, they will wrestle in a tribal combat match. And, of course, Roman Reigns, of course, is looking to pick up some momentum going into his World Heavyweight Championship World Heavyweight Championship match against Sami Zayn at King and Queen of the Ring. And of course, could we be looking at Roman becoming the next World Heavyweight Champion this Saturday? I don't know. And of course, who do you think is winning the second tribal combat match tonight? Will it be Jimmy Uso or will it be Roman Reigns? Now, granted, people are asking, how can we do a tribal combat match in WWE 2K25 when there is no tribal combat stipulation? Because all it is just a Bloodline Rules match. Well, of course, it's like an Extreme Rules match. But it's still going to be labeled a tribal combat match. Now I probably just spoiled it at last minute. Yep. Wonderful. Right, so I believe it says we need to get the hat. Okay, Here we go. I believe that's a mini kit. Yes. Here we go! Yes! Oh, bless you. Oh my god, we're going on chaos mode. As that is now, level 3 completed. As we got Indiana Jones Desert. I got that Marin Corridor. I don't know how you pronounce them in the right way. Anyways, I think that's going to wrap up recording 1, as I'll see you all in recording 2. Thanks for watching. I'll be right back. Oh, what? Oh. Need to take out the control. Oh, hold on. Let me censor this. Back to what I was saying. Okay. Okay, so we started this. Okay. So welcome everybody to the second recording. Oh, alright. I need to fix the tripod here. Before I blow my ears out. So I believe you have to do this. Yeah, because it sucks that we're gonna have to go slower. And it only gets worse considering Indy has the book. Can we get to the part? And you could actually hit them. So if we can do this, like we just did right there. Alright, so I would like to assume this is probably going to be the most difficult part here. Oh, great. Uh-oh, pain in the ass. Is incoming. Now, granted, I understand not every character in game, unless it's a Superman or, well, Django Fett doesn't have it going on way too long. Like Superman Green Lantern, like that other game that has Superman Green Lantern. All can do. Alright, so... what are you doing? Are you trying to turn on me? Great, now we gotta restart the process again. Fuck me. Fuck. Fuck me. Oh. Oh, great. More noise. More noise. Well. More noise. Because I've been looking at where's that sound coming from? And my camera is off center, which that makes it worse. And I honestly can't help but feel so that we could be having a problem with was recording later today. Uh-oh. Why? Am I really gonna have to put the 2P on? As I don't know what to do based on the fact this noise is pissing me off to the point I want to do this off camera. Unless we may be going half backwards. Indy, wait there. I think you may... Oh, okay. I don't think this was supposed to be the right move. Come on, make your choice. Oh wait, I didn't know where we were minutes ago, but nonetheless, we have it all sorted out. So now what's next? And we can get a blue stud. Now we can get this. Let me. This. Oh great. More sound like this. I understand they must be drilling. But I mean, at least we can move on. And progress. So what we need Sally. Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Okay, so I need to get this down. Oh my. Alright, so what happens now? Alright, so there we go. So now we're back. I believe what you're supposed to do. I had to make a sacrifice. Alright, if we fall one more time, I'll just deal with this off camera. Because I don't think I want to waste them. We're now tangled. Alright, I'll be right back, because I don't want to unleash my rage even more. Alright, I've actually discovered this is actually not what we were supposed to be doing. But I just grabbed the mini kit regardless. So that, well, I mean, we do have to do the free play, which is god awful. I'd like to assume that's a, wait. I thought that was a free play. Well, no, it's not. So anyways, let's get into the... Alright, I'm confused about what we're supposed to be doing right now. So, of course, we need to get Indy to the top. But how do you get there? Unless this right here was reserved for him. Actually, yeah. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Take care of that cunt before he becomes more of a problem. And now we got her running away. Why are you walking away when we need to do this part right here? Finally. And Indiana, I mean, it's been a while since I've played this game. That's all people are gonna remember. It's been a while since I last played this game. Last time I played this game, I don't know when. Was it either 2021 or 2020? Late, by the way. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Booyah! And that's it? Sad. Sad stuff. See? So that is another level completed. The Well of Souls is we got Solar Desert, Marina, Evening Dress. I don't know how to pronounce most of the Indiana Jones characters' name right. Anyways, on to the next level. Alright guys, we're now on to level 2. I mean on level 4. And of course, Alright, let's fix this bad boy up. Bad boy, bad boy! What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come from you? Bad boy, bad boy! What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come from you? Every time I say bad boy, well, outside the universe, well, not really. Like, in universe mode, well, regardless whether I say it or not. Great. Double trouble. Double trouble. It doesn't help that there's too many shit to focus on. This could be a pain in the ass of waiting. And it only gets worse considering we gotta do this on the Wii as well. And also the PS2 and Xbox 360 and PSP. As I said, we will be doing those series later on down the line. Well, of course, we're gonna be doing the Wii games after we're done with the PS3 games. Then we're gonna, yeah. You can hit me all you want, but I don't care. Because we are invincible! 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 Oh, what? For that? I don't know if it was the plan. Take the hat. Right. Goodbye. Alright. Why are you... No. Go away. You're just distracting us from doing what we are supposed to be doing. Do we need to co-op this level? Please don't tell me, because I would rather drink bleach if that's the case. Why is everyone falling? I'll be right back, because I don't know if I can take this shit anymore. Okay, we are back in the air. Alright, we're now at the boss fight. So what am I supposed to be doing? Because obviously we need to beat that boss fight. Unless this is actually what you are supposed to be doing. Another cutoff scene. Yay! The moment we waited for. And what we need to see on our Mondays. Considering I need to record, I'm going to be recording right after this is done. And then of course later today, I'm going to be working on a new video for the SuperAJStylesNick channel, which will be going up tomorrow morning. Maybe. Okay. You want to go that way? Okay. Hit me. Ha. You fell. Thank you. I need to pick up that mini kit. I need to pick up the mini kit. Thank you. Please end this. No. We died that day. Oh, this can cause trouble. So there we go. That's another completion. As obviously we get true adventures as per usual. As of course, I will see you all in the final recording of episode 1. Alright, we are now at the final recording for today. Today for episode 1 of LEGO Indiana Jones, the original adventure, as we are now off to this level. 11. And of course we got a mini kit. I call it a mini kit, no pun intended. What is she trying? Uh-oh. I really don't know what we are supposed to be doing. I really don't know. Okay, here we go. What are you doing? Thank you. Punk. At least we could do the fast build. No, You can't hear me. Okay. Alright. I was busy with my phone. Anyways, let's get back into what we are supposed to be doing right now. Alright, we got to the top. Let's put this hat on. Put this hat on? Uh-oh. No, no, no. 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 Okay, here we go. That's nothing. Yeah. Nothing new, nothing new, nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing new, nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing new. What time, Tommy. No. If Alright, so what does that mean? Okay. Alright guys, we're back. What? How the fuck did I die? Huh? That was weird. Let's see what your next move is. Yeah, that's great, because we have a plan. Would like if we can get Indiana Jones in the roles. Why? Can these mother F... I did not want to kiss. It's those disgusting pedophiles who's coming in there to waste my time. Unless we are actually doing this the wrong way. Because we're supposed to be... Because we need to do a puzzle. What? That took his 2 eyes away from him? Weird. I would say really weird. That happened. Alright. So that is level completion as we get Indiana Jones in an army. Marin, Night Grown. And bear this in mind, this version of this game does not include the trophy guards. Of course, only on number 2, which we are going to be doing after this game. Anyways, thanks for watching episode 1, and I will see you all tomorrow, only for this series, for episode 2, and later tonight for Monday Night Raw. Until then, thanks for watching.